Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Calling about Jedrick Wheels. I would like to see Jedrick move back to his regular position. It seems that for somehow his mechanics is not as good as he was in college. And my second comment, I noticed that the Green Bay Packers own their own team, the city, under Haslam. He haven't had a real winning season other than when Baker came back for that first few games. Well, his first year.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. G. Bush, Green Bay is grandfathered in, so they can own that because they're allowed to do that. Jedrick Wills to right tackle, that might be something they look at. He's been okay, but he hasn't been 10th pick in the first round okay.
Just talked to John Costco, Pro Football Focus, and his run blocking grades are in the 50s. It's one of those things where I look at it, and it's another thing with Jedrick Wills. Him and Conklin haven't played very well this year. Last year, Wills had the ankle injury, and I think that slowed him a little bit. Conklin has been in and out injured a lot as well. So when you're looking at this situation, you got to think about it like this. He was a top 10 pick. I've always said this to me. I always thought that he was more of a guard. I didn't see left tackle body type. Most times left tackles are leaner. They're a little taller. They're over 6'6". They have longer arms so they can punch and stab and keep those pass rushers. And obviously they want to be a little bit taller so they can run the defensive ends around the hoop. And obviously that means your quarterback can step up and throw the football. For me, I just never thought he had the footwork per se to be a dominant left tackle. I think he could be a good left tackle if he pans out at the highest level. But I didn't see it. Now, the thing the Browns are going to have to make a decision on is he got a 5th year coming up. So, and this happens a lot, and this is coming up for a lot of people. Conklin, you're going to have to make a decision on. He's making a lot of money. You talk about you have a lot of money wrapped up in your 2 guards. And Teller has been hurt this year. He hasn't been what he used to be, but he has a calf injury. But Tonio is now over 30 years old. Now you're looking at a unit in their prime, which goes from the weakest link was Jedrick Wills, and you can live with that because he was still giving you mid-70s production, and he's a young player. But can you live with that if you moving in Hubbard, who needs to show himself to be a right tackle? Are you going to be able to do it if you have to make a decision between Bitonio and Teller? And what are you doing at Ethan Pochich was a great pick. You got Harris. Can you move Harris to one of the guards if you need to cut some salary somewhere? The reality of it is, up front, you're going to have to be starting to make some moves very quickly, defensively as well as offensive line. Jadeveon Clowney won't be on this team next year. You're going to have to figure out what you're going to do at defensive tackle because you need more depth there, and you're going to have to make a decision on the 5th year and whether or not you're keeping Conklin. And that's one of the things about when people say, oh, well, we'll just do it next year. Well, the thing about punting on years is while you're punting on years and while you keep kicking the can down the road, people are getting older, a little longer in the tooth, not as athletic. The cap number is going up. So now you can't just say we don't need anything with the offensive line. We can go look for a skill position for Deshaun Watson. It's not necessarily the case. That's the problem of trying to build a roster in the NFL. Your window is very finite, and if you miss it, you can add a quarterback, but hey, what you gonna put around him?